In the soft glow of the kitchen lights, Eiko stood at the stainless steel sink, her sleeves rolled up just enough so they wouldn't get wet. The water streamed steadily from the tall faucet, sparkling under the overhead lamp. In her hands was her favorite plate, a creamy white one with tiny speckles and a graceful pattern of dark leaves and branches painted across it. She had bought it years ago on a trip to a small pottery village, and somehow it had become a quiet symbol of their home. She moved the plate slowly under the running water, her fingers tracing the raised edges of the leaf design as if greeting an old friend. Tiny soap bubbles slid off the surface and disappeared down the drain. Eiko's face was calm, her long brown hair tied back loosely with a small clip, a few strands falling gently near her cheek. She didn't rush. Washing dishes had always been her small ritual at the end of the day, a time when her mind could settle after the business of work and family. From the doorway, Hiroshi watched her for a moment without speaking. He had just come back from the living room, still wearing his white dotted shirt with the sleeves casually rolled. The stainless steel refrigerator hummed softly behind him. He noticed how focused she looked, how carefully she turned the plate to make sure every corner was clean. A gentle fondness filled his chest. "Eiko," he said softly, stepping closer to the counter. "You've been on your feet since morning. Let me finish that for you." She lifted her eyes and gave him a small, tired but warm smile. "It's all right. I like doing it. Besides, this plate is special. I don't want anyone else to handle it roughly." Her voice was quiet, almost playful. Hiroshi leaned against the edge of the sink, arms loosely crossed. "You always say that about the plates," he teased gently. "Remember when I broke the blue one last year? You looked at me like I had dropped a family heirloom." Eiko laughed lightly, the sound soft in the kitchen. "It was my grandmother's pattern. But this one, I chose it myself. Every time I wash it, I remember that little shop with the smell of wet clay and fresh rain outside." She rinsed the plate one final time, the water cascading over the leaf design like a tiny waterfall. Then she carefully placed it on the drying rack, where it gleamed under the light. For a few seconds, only the sound of the faucet and the distant hum of the refrigerator filled the room. Hiroshi reached out and turned the water off for her when she was done. Their hands brushed lightly. Neither pulled away quickly. "You know," he said, looking at her profile, "I used to think doing dishes was just a chore. But watching you, it looks almost peaceful. Like meditation." Eiko dried her hands on a soft towel and turned to face him fully. Her gray knitted sweater looked cozy under the warm kitchen lighting. "It is, in a way. After a long day of meetings and phone calls, standing here with warm water and something simple to clean, it helps me breathe again." She paused, then added with a shy smile, "And knowing you're nearby makes it even better." Hiroshi's expression softened. He had always admired how she found beauty in ordinary moments. Their life together was unfilled with grand adventures every day. It was built from mornings with shared coffee, evenings like this, and quiet conversations over clean plates and folded laundry. "Do you remember the first time we cooked together in this kitchen?" he asked suddenly. Eiko nodded, her eyes lighting up a little. "Of course. We burned the rice and laughed until our stomachs hurt. You kept saying I'm a great cook while smoke filled the room. That was the night we decided this apartment felt like home." They both smiled at the memory. Hiroshi stepped closer and gently tucked a loose strand of hair behind her ear. "I'm glad we chose this place. Even with the small sink and the noisy refrigerator, it's ours." Eiko glanced down at the sink again, then back at him. "Sometimes I worry I spend too much time on these little things, washing plates, wiping counters, making sure everything is in order. Do you ever feel like I'm too quiet about it?" Hiroshi shook his head. "No. Those little things are what hold us together. You take care of our home without complaining. You make it warm, and I want you to know I see it. I appreciate it more than I say." She looked at him for a long moment, her expression full of quiet gratitude. Then she reached out and turned the faucet back on, letting the water run gently over her hands once more, not because the plate needed it, but because the sound was soothing. "Stay here with me a little longer?" she asked softly. Hiroshi nodded and pulled up a stool from the corner, sitting near the counter so he could watch her and talk. They spoke about small things: the new plant she wanted to buy for the windowsill, his tiring day at the office, the movie they had been meaning